Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Easter meditation today. I'm absolutely delighted to be here and to welcome so many of you here today. It's an absolute joy. Thank you for your presence. Some of you are new, some of you have been here before, some of you haven't been in a space with me for a long time, and it's really, really good to feel you here. Uh, Everybody has the opportunity to have their camera on to begin with, and I'm going to pull up the screen just so that we can all take each other in, because this is us. This is a collaboration, and it's us that makes this possible. And as those of you will know that have gathered with me before, the field responds to us, the field is us, and more becomes possible. And that's what's been happening today as more and more people have joined, and people will be joining us as we go along. So thank you for showing your faces. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so there is a lot. There's a lot in the field today, and I'm listening deeply. I want to say a little bit about the shape, just so that your subconscious and your mind has that structure and that expectation. So we will be doing some just initial practices to center and land and ground, checking in with each other. And then as we go along, we're building more and more coherence in the field. Then we will go into several deeper meditations and practices. We'll take a short pause in between each one so that you can adjust. And there'll be embodiment and integration and a check-in at the end. I want to share a couple of invitations with you about an immediate opportunity in the community and the 3-month program coming up. I was going to speak to it at the end, but I can feel how much is coming in and how powerful it is. It doesn't feel appropriate. So I will pop it in the chat and also in your email with your replay, and you can look at it then. It doesn't feel appropriate to be trying to engage. The embodied awakening approach, and that's just the language that I give it, it's language for the ineffable of fundamentally knowing the truth of awareness, knowing it directly. And we will be practicing opening throughout our meditations. And then we don't just stay in this orientation. We explore what arises in the true integration through all levels of being, including our multidimensionality. And we'll open that more in the last practice. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense to your mind. It's just a shape. A word about posture, about your body. This is a whole being meditation. So all of us is included. So I invite you to take a posture that serves you. And for some of you, that may well be lying down as we go deeper in. That may well be what supports you in integrating. Okay. The goal is to stay conscious, if possible, and present and receptive. And so sometimes that is the traditional upright posture, and sometimes what actually serves our receptivity is lying down. So just listen as we go along. Okay. Let's just do a very brief grounding and centering practice. Before you close your eyes, just look to something ahead of you that isn't a screen. Your eyes are alert but soft. Just take in the wall, whatever it is, just one thing. And then turn around and do the same behind you. Just turning your head, your body. Just letting your eyes be the receptor, letting the mind be quiet. And then turn your head to the left. Just noticing one thing. And from your centeredness, just taking it in. And to the right. And then let your head come back to center. Close your eyes. And let awareness fall down the central column. And notice what it is to be inhabiting this body, your body, just now. And you're already cultivating a stance of quietness, of open receptivity. And whatever is noticed is just here. And now you can still have your eyes closed if you want. We're going to go into a gentle hum, which serves two purposes. It balances the vagus nerve, the main nerve of the nervous system. And we're intending that it starts to bring in more group coherence as all of us are coming here. So breathing in and breathing out. Mm. Mm. And you can let it build and change notes. We'll do this for about 30 seconds. Mm. 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 I'm just going to include some light language because it's been very persistent. It's another way that frequency expresses in the field. Mitushi kai mora ayana kia tia tuai, ne ishe mara hayeke, ne tima okia and taramake, ne shima ayanke, na tarama akiotutai ete. So extend your exhale. Okay, so I'm going to speak briefly about the energies of renewal in particular on this day. This day is the culmination of this past week of Easter in the Christian tradition, the birthing of spring, a time of renewal. And regardless of your personal beliefs, your faith, or none. There's an availability of Christ consciousness, of very high light, and energies that support us really stepping into our highest expression, our next highest expression. So, as I'm speaking to this, I invite you just to take a moment and put in the chat, what does renewal mean to you right now? And this is not a question for the mind. This is a question to take inside through your heart space and allow your inner wisdom to speak. Allow yourself to be curious, surprised, and receptive. And as you're putting your comments in the chat, I'll share a little bit. I shared a post about this earlier about something that happened this morning. I won't tell you the whole story, but it really emphasized this theme of renewal. And what was coming in is that when we talk about renewal, we're called to renew our relationship with being in a body, especially those of us that chose to incarnate in a female body, which is the body, one of the bodies most presently experiencing and carrying many thousands of years of oppression, repression, and control. Male bodies carry a lot of programming too, of course. We're renewing our relationship with the body. We are renewing our relationship between the divine and the human, between the formless and form. And in renewing our relationship with body, we are, of course, we have the opportunity to come into renewal with our relationship with the mother, with Mother Earth. How we live, how we care for each other, for this planet, how we produce food, how we use water, how we relate to the air, the sun, the rocks, the earth. And the message that the rock beings gave this morning was very clear that for everyone here, probably at some level, sees themselves as being in service to consciousness and service to love. We are here not only to serve human consciousness, collective consciousness, but that of the earth, which is not the same consciousness. How am I doing this? That's a question to take away and consider. It's going to pop up your responses. So, being here, new, freshness, relax and be moved, moment to moment, reanimated by source, fresh eyes of flowing waters, again and again. Renew myself as a soul in service. Beautiful. These feel like prayers and intentions on the altar. Okay. So we're going to go into our first meditation, which is a releasing of the identified self and a deep drop into oneness. So take your posture. And just a word as we're going in. This orientation, that's a word I use a lot because it's deeper than practice. It's an alignment with how we live, how we orient our practice, but also how we live. This orientation is what brings us to knowing truth and releasing the identified self. Take a deep breath and release into emptiness. So, this is a core commitment to release into emptiness. We'll begin by going deeper along the path, aware of breath, movement of the chest, sensation of breath in the nostrils, and then shifting a point of awareness to the base of the skull. Feeling the weight of the skull as balance on the neck. And then a point of awareness dropping down into the center of the chest. And from here, we open. Commit to quietness. And that does not mean a quietness where there's not things appearing, arising, thoughts, sensations in the body. Feelings. What we will discover is that the more that we release the identification with the label, the personality, the small self, we open to the vastness that holds everything, contains everything. And we're committing to staying quiet, to not following what may arise. Right here, we are changing patterns, renewing direction, turning to the feet of the divine, to the emptiness, It means here, now, together. Releasing the habitual identification. Then the opening, what arises can become more and more subtle. What we are turning awareness to here is before any phenomenon. And the practice is to keep putting down our ideas. The vastness is empty and full, contains every arising. What we are turning awareness to is awareness itself, where so many parts of the being can actually take deep rest. The dedication is in the intention and returning to the practice again and again. And in this, there's so much softening, opening, and availability. One of the elements of the practice is being able to meet discomfort. The discomfort of not following habit, of unhooking from identity and story. And we can be subtly aware that there are many of us turning our focus and attention in the same direction. Our practices are interconnected, even as each being has a unique experience. Our practices speak to each other and enhance each other. Let this field surround you, fill you, and support you. There is a group meditation happening. Some more layers of the identified self can rest. The one that thinks they need to do it or do it a certain way. You're here. You are attending with awareness and presence. Keep returning to resting in quietness. Allow what arises to arise. And just let it be. Turn to a deeper surrender. To infinite intelligence. Each time you find that you have stabilized with a feeling or thought or a place, experiment with letting that go. Opening to indescribable, unbounded awareness, to one. And even as we elevate in levels of consciousness and the quality or the nature of what arises changes to higher level, higher dimensional contact, connections, knowings. Right now, the practice is still the same. Not denying anything, not grasping it, releasing identification, resting in the quietness. This is not a state, not a quality of feeling, not a place. One of the key teachings I can offer is letting go. We're bringing our attention and we're letting go. Every time the mind is so trained to attach, to make conclusions, the ego looks for confirmation, stability. There is a gradual, gentle retraining of mind and ego to rest in that which is the ultimate safety, the ultimate knowing, an ultimate source of all answers, all questions, of emptiness, and all of the fullness of the cosmos. Rest here another moment longer. And then very gently, just let that ease and take a moment for any adjustments that you want to make in your body. And just one observation about this practice is that in many ways it's one of the simplest and one of the hardest for us in these times where we are so flooded with noise, activity, and programming to engage at all levels within our own thoughts. Unhooking and resting in the quietness, in the isness, is the foundation for everything, all awakening. Okay, so just take a moment. If you want to change your position, stretch, take a sip of water. And we're going to move deeper into our next practice, still with this foundation of open awareness. So here we're moving into bridging, which is the essence of being in a human body as a multi-dimensional being that is in itself an expression of infinite consciousness. We're going to more specifically explore this bridging with our multidimensional aspects and our teams, but with the same stance of attention, yet openness, not collapsing into identification, not grasping. And I'll guide us together. In this now moment, I call forth and thank all of the beings of light that already gather here with us and through us, speaking in the unseen. All of our wisdom guides who walk the path of love and truth. The benevolent spirits of the land, where every one of us in this field is located. The spirits of the water, the air sprites, the fire elementals, the rock beings. Feel the breath that is moving in this body, where the consciousness that you most identify with orients for as long as you are alive. Feel the breath entering the nose, down the throat, into the lungs, and returning to the atmosphere of this planet, the same atmosphere that every single being shares. Acknowledge our shared atmosphere. Still open to quietness, the open awareness. We attune to those multi-dimensional aspects that are most helpful and relevant to each of our evolution and to our service as a group field in this now. And just as we all have unique DNA, we all have unique star DNA with stronger connections through some planets and stars and some universes than others. That said, Sirius is coming in really strongly. I acknowledge and thank the Mother Mountain here in Mount Shasta, where I am placed in this now moment. All of the codings that she brings and her function as a transmitter of the highest frequencies of light for the entire planet. So many star family stay close, partnering with her in this service. We thank you for your witnessing and your support. Let's open the field even more. We are functioning more and more at the level of group coherence, group consciousness, here now today, in grace. And there's a filtration in place through the multiple levels of this frequency field to support that which comes through as being most benevolent, most relevant. Here, each of us can ask anything in the system that is out of balance, for the priorities of anywhere that is out of balance to come into balance. I'm taken to the heart space and the infinity symbol, bringing balance, particularly between the right and left sides of not just the body, but the system. And of course, the right and left sides of the brain work very differently and ideally in balance. Most of us are out of balance for many reasons. But each of us here can call forth the priorities for rebalancing. It can be at any level. It can be the level of the physical organs, the blood, the immune system, the senses, the brain, emotional patterning, addiction, spiritual and energetic disconnect, our capacity to hold resilience, so just some of what's coming up in the field. So still keeping openness and connection with the isness. We are opening up more dimensional levels and allowing the inflow of supportive codes, particularly coming in through the heart space, emanating out into this group field where they coalesce. There's exchange, there's mutual activation. I'll stay with this for a moment, very much seeing us all gathered around this incredible field where all of the coding is coming in and communicating, sharing, so many levels with each other. And we are the guardians, we are the conduits. And then from this fertilization, that which is most supportive of the highest next steps in consciousness go out into the collective. We don't even begin to try and identify what that is. That simply overlays our own projections. They go out into the grids, into the Christ consciousness grids. Like being elements in an electrical system. We are simply attuned to voltage or frequency and vessels. Make some contact with the heart space. Make some contact with the heart space of everyone in the group. Okay. And then there's some resting. Let the resting enter and nourish. Let it give strength as the alchemy moves through. Shai te naramakoi na ai she tai makoi ai e na chai. So another exploration of bridging without shrinking, without diminishing consciousness, without disconnecting from the multidimensionality of your own nature and of the field. Come to rest in the body. Stay soft, clear, and open to what it is to bridge and ground. You're not leaving the home base. And just even that note might touch something in some of you. That you're not leaving this home base and can still open to the richness of your multidimensionality. And to the oneness that births and creates everything. So the death of identification with the small self and the birth into openness and into a greater, more diverse knowing of one's own being is all possible through this body, here, now, on the earth, feet on the earth. We can't force certain levels of consciousness or awakening, but we can prepare the ground and be available. Even if the opening feels like a micro movement, even just for a moment, we can turn to it without clinging, without grasping, and receive. This is the foundation of integration, meeting what is. This is the cycle of renewal, of creation. The Christ consciousness at work through each of us and through the we. There's this sovereign, it's a blessing, but it's also an energy structure coming down over the group field. And it's a protection of sovereignty, if you like. Can remind all of us to know that this field is available beyond time and space. For it is us. We create this. So in our seemingly individual lives, we can call on this. Gently start to actively deepen the breath, still without any force or pushing. Let the movement of the breath be a carrier for the exchanges happening. There's a real emphasis on not allowing the mind to take over, to try and understand, to try and parse out. As a species, we've become very addicted and programmed to the mind as being the answer, when the truth is much greater, and the truth is the vastness expressing itself through the totality of our being and our beings in interconnection. So soften the head and the brain. Notice that the head rests on the neck and the body stands or sits on the surface of this planet that gives us everything to sustain life. And she does so without question. Take into your heart space, what is one thing that I can bring as a being, one action of renewal with her, the mother, with this body, with this being. So I invite everyone to contact one movement that arises, one concrete choice and action of renewal. Something that you can do soon, today, in the next few days. This is where the vastness, the colourfulness, the richness of our true beings gets to filter through us drop by drop. And breathe in the energies of this moment, this renewal moment of light, of benevolence, of encouragement. The bulbs of the daffodils in the earth in the winter, they know that the time will come and they will start to sprout and grow and push through the cold, dark soil and emerge into a new cycle. We are the seeds, we are the planter, we are the creator, and we are that which is formed. Never forget the power that lies within every one of us. Thank you so much for being here today.